Aaron Poltari for Brosnan's mechanic. Can you talk about brake setup?
Well, we got the SRAM Mavens on, front and rear, because that's the ticket. And we have 2 different rotor sizes, but it's contrary to what everybody else is doing. So we just have 220 on the rear and 200 on the front. It's just like, we use a lot more rear brake, and it helps with heat dissipation. And obviously like brake power as well. So if we put a 220 on the front, Troy actually finds that the brakes are too powerful and it ends up pushing the front wheel, so under braking. So yeah, we run 220 on the rear. It cooks less rotors. He tends to drag less as well. He's more on and off his brakes rather than like constantly dragging them. And it also, yeah, like I said, it helps with heat dissipation. We find that if we put a 200 on the rear, he actually, like I said, cooks more rotors, which obviously boils your fluid and then makes your brake feel not ideal. Yeah, so it's just kind of managing his brakes through the week and keeping him consistent.
Yeah, we're back in amazing Leogang, good weather, everything's good, and we're back to kind of common ground that we all know, what to expect. Poland was awesome. It was actually incredible venue and super cool track, but it did change a lot with the weather and it being a fresh track in a new venue no one really been to. So Leogang's kind of exciting because we're back to kind of familiar territory and we can reference what we were doing last year, year before, and we've been here a lot. Yeah, for SRAM we're still incredibly excited with the Maven brakes. Are still awesome for the athletes and getting power and the tuning ability with the Maven brakes, so we got that. And then on the suspension side, RockShox has flight attendant wins now for XC Enduro and downhill in 2024, so pretty incredible technology with the flight attendant story, and just working through that with our athletes and getting them all comfortable and really starting to explore the possibilities of what we can do with suspension and future technologies.
I'm Sven, working for DD Swiss, and I'm taking care of the race support for DD Swiss. We're having here our new prototype RAM. We have a few riders testing it. It's mostly right now Danny Hart. We want to test something to get different feeling from the tire, more feedback from the tire. Right now we're only testing it, if it's worth it to produce the RAM. Right now it's only a test.
Hi, I'm Dale McMullen, Danny Hart's mechanic for the Continental GT team. We've been swapping now this weekend from a large to medium Fury, testing the smaller size and feels a bit more nimble. And then also just a couple of things we've been working on with fun, just sort of co-developing a chain guide to work with high pivot bikes. They didn't have a dedicated high pivot guide and it's a bit bulkier, so the guys are sort of running sort of 34 tooth chain rings, so we're kind of going for maximum ground clearance. Got a modified version here that we've been testing, so yeah, seems to be working well so far.
Well, I'm Phil Seton. I'm running the Seton Tuning DH team. Essentially, we were Polle Factory Racing until Polle went bankrupt, which was just 2 weeks before the first round. So I've taken the team on myself. We're running Dan Slack on Oniranio, and we are here making it happen. We have one chassis per rider, and we're having to make them last. So we're basically doing the best we can to make sure these last for the entire season. Fortunately, Polle did a great job of designing a really solid DH bike. So we're quite lucky in the fact that we've got a bike which doesn't have inherent problems. But we're still very mindful of the fact that we don't have any spare or any backup here.
So what are you having to do to adapt to make sure that they run properly for the year?
Well, the main thing is make sure the suspension works right, because if you have too stiff a suspension, it's going to put more stress on the chassis. So we just concentrate on that. We're basically not able to do as much testing as we would like. That's the biggest thing, because in an ideal situation you would be out riding continuously from the last World Cup round to the next one, and we're just having to knock that on the head and make sure that we're not doing as much testing. Trying to make sure the boys still get a little bit, but not as much as we would like.
For today, we just make sure everything's running smooth again, going deep into the linkages and stuff. Full strip down, full rebuild. Want to make sure everything's ready and set for the week, so we can just go ahead and maintain instead of going deep into every day. Just make it good the first and then maintain through the whole week. Make sure everything's really good. Well, we'll talk about this later with Brooke, but we'll see. So we went quite a bit harder on compression and went up a spring rate as well in hardline. It was pretty rough on the big jumps and stuff. We'll probably go softer, like to have a bit more sag, and probably a bit softer compression as well, because the hits are not as big, but not too far from what we were at before though, just a bit stiffer really.
Hey, my name is Fabio Fullin. I'm working on Davide Capello's bike. So as for now, we're working close with Paolo, which is our suspension man, and we're working with the latest model of BYB telemetry. We have brakes, speed, fork, shock sensors everywhere, so we can understand whether if we're going to the correct way or not. And the program on the computer is well made. So yeah, we have lots of infos that we just need to address and see how to click on fork and shock. But yeah, it's good.
Hey, I'm Patrick. I work for the Canyon Collective Pirelli team. I am looking after Henry Kerr this year, along with Luca Lagno as well. Not especially anything super new going on. We have the new A13 wheels this year, which are proven to be amazing. Genuinely a performance enhancer for our guys, like considering the track record after 2 races for everyone. We're going to a little bit higher on the front end, try and increase like weight on the feet a little bit steeper here than both those tracks as like an overall. We will go to probably a faster rear, probably faster front rolling tire as well. Compromise a little bit in the other stuff, but faster rolling is pretty key here. Other than that, not anything crazy.
I may be at a bit of a disadvantage that if there's a bigger gap, I travel back to the United States. So between Poland and Leogang, Remy went to Schladming and did some laps there. So when I arrived to Leogang, we've got a bit of a task at hand to get the bike back freshed up and ready to go here for race weekend. Bicycle gets torn down to the frame, check the condition of the pivot bearings, clean lubricator, replace if necessary, overhaul a headset, check the condition of, replace derailleur cable on housing, full brake bleed, brake pad replacement, potentially rotor replacement, new chain, potentially new chain ring, and what I would consider a very detailed, complete overhaul. Yeah, the beauty of coming back to Leogang is we have lots of experience here in the past, so we can draw on previous setups. We're on the same bike with the same equipment from last year, so we can use those settings as a real solid baseline to start the weekend.
So Jack, Loic Bruni's mechanic.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about your guys' setup this year and your relationship with Ohlins suspension?
We are really close. Now we have a lot of possibility with the suspension, even with the frame too, with Specialized. So we can make some change. Like for us, it's like a huge advantage for sure.
Going from somewhere like Poland to Leogang and even from Fort William, setup is going to change. How do you guys account for that?
All the time it's different. It's like looks the same, but it's completely different. With the system, it's like even for us, we are just a beginning, because I think we need more time to explore all the things. And then with the data and everything, it's like for me, it's like a game, the PlayStation.
I'm TJ Hansen, working for Ohlins Racing.
Can you tell me what you guys are doing with Loic's bike to make it run so good?
A lot of hard work, good engineering, and a good package overall. This is our now, 8th season together with Loic and the team. And we're trying to improve things from year to year. And that's the secret behind it. A lot of hard work. Basically, Loic and Jack is spending a lot of time testing. They have a good program, and we are supplying what they're looking for as far as suspension setups and so on. And so together, it's a winning combination. We are, I can say this much, he's on an electronic system now. There's no secret around that, and this is our 3rd year we're using it. Yeah, it's working great. There's a lot of prototype things happening underneath those covers.
So are we only at the beginning of the electronic age of suspension, you think? Is there more to come?
I mean, electronic is like people think just because they put telemetry on their bikes now they will have all the answers. It's not that easy, and it's the same with electronic suspension. I mean, the basics needs to be the fundamental performance of the suspensions needs to be correct. before you put the electronics on there. So yeah, still there's a lot of work, and hopefully we're just in the beginning of it all. But at the same time, we saw in Poland with Ronan, and he was winning with just mechanical systems. So we're gonna see back and forth over the year, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But the future is looking pretty cool.
Yeah, season's been pretty dream start to a season. Currently sitting second in the World Cup overall at the minute after winning the last round, and then yeah, I just came off Red Bull Hardline there last week. So yeah, it's been a pretty dream start, and yeah, enjoying it.
So yeah, coming from hardline to track as gnarly as that to Leogang.
Yeah, to race on that track is pretty gnarly, and then yeah, to come to a World Cup is going to be a nice swap over. It should be pretty chilled. So yeah, looking forward to it. Should be. I love this track. It's really fun, and yeah, so hopefully the weather keeps up, and it should be sick.